You're selling your business. Should you sell it to a buyer? Should you allow the employees to do a management buyout? Or should you put in an employee ownership trust? Getting this right is critical to everybody involved. We created this series in order to help people that are new to the business sale process to understand some of the basic principles, to allow them to be more effective in the process, to engage better with their advisors, and to sleep better at night. Today, we're going to be covering the difference between selling your business, a management buyout, and an employee ownership trust. You have to have decided that you want to sell your business. And generally, we say that it's not an intellectual answer for most people. It's an answer of the heart, and there's a switch that goes off on the heart. People know when it's gone off, and it's time to leave. If that switch has gone off, then you need to be contemplating one of these three avenues. If the switch hasn't gone off, or if you think it's going to be going off in 3 to 5 years, we strongly suggest you get involved with exit coaches and business scaling coaches and things like that that can help you optimize your business and make it more valuable and more ready for sale. You have time effectively. If you need to go in the next 18 months, it's probably time to look at options so that you can go do whatever you need to do, whether it's you need to retire or for some other reason, move countries, whatever. The business sale process is covered in other videos, but basically, and the types of buyers you would get in a business sale process. And basically, it turns out that a business sale and an MBO, it kind of cross over more than people think. The reason for that, and we covered this extensively in another video about key employees, is that management buyouts generally mean that the management team is going to somehow buy out the owner, and the owner gets to leave. Now, that can work out in some situations, but there are some disadvantages to that as well. So that's what a management buyout is. The management buyout is when the employees are actually buying out the owner. Generally, the employees don't have the money to buy him out, and so they're either getting bank loans or they're going to pay off the owner over a very long period of time. That can have appeal to some people, but it also has disadvantages. A couple of them are that one is if the employees don't have a lot of money, then the business owner has a lot of risk because they might not run the business well and he might not get paid. So that's one of the disadvantages. The other big disadvantage that is significant is one we call the X factor leadership phenomenon. And that's that people that run businesses, successful businesses, remember 80% of businesses don't make it 5 years in this country. The ones that have been able to run a business for 10, 20 years, whatever it is, have this X factor leadership ability to guide and build that business. And they're special. And it's not something most people have. And that's different than management experience. They tend to have good management teams that know how to run the business, but not lead it. And when that X factor leader goes, there's a massive void of leadership. And so the managers can run it for a while, but they can't navigate it. Think of COVID. An X factor leader, the ones that survived COVID, were able to guide the ship through something that none of us expected would happen. That's the difference of leadership versus management. Someone that was just knew how to manage a company in calm waters, as it were. When you hit the choppy waters, they don't know what to do. When we hit situations we're not expecting. An X factor leader will naturally guide them through guide the business through that. So when he leaves, there's a void that's created. And now with this void created, the company might fly off the rails. And if it flies off the rails, it's not good for anybody. And also he doesn't get paid out. So that can be one of the big disadvantages. Now, I said that sometimes a management buyout and a business sale can cross over. Well, it turns out there are several different buyer types, which is covered in another video, but 2 out of 3 of the main buyer types actually are relying on the current management, actually want to empower the current management to actually run the business. So if you get a financial buyer or an investor buyer like a private equity firm or something like that, they will tell you they don't run businesses, right? They come in and sponsor management teams. They literally are facilitating an MBO. The difference is they're bringing a lot of money to the table to give it to the owner so he can leave. And then they help the team that's there become better versions of themselves by creating a good non-exec board, putting in a chairman, putting in an FD, 5-year plans. But they allow the people that are there to grow into actually running the company. So it becomes kind of like an MBO. And those people generally get sweet equity. They get equity in the business so that when they achieve the business's goals, they make a lot of money as well. So everybody wins. So suddenly there's a real gray area between what is an MBO and what is a sale purchase, because in that case, the two are sort of blending together. If you get a trade buyer that's in the same business that you're in, then it's not so much like that. And if they're in the same business, in the same roughly geography, your employees can have the scenario where they simply become employees of your key people, of that company. That is very uncommon. Usually, and uncommon meaning 80% of the time, that's not what's happening. So 80% of the time, a buyer, if they are a trade buyer, is in a different kind of business, and again, needs your team to step up and run it. But they can provide leadership. They can provide that leadership and guidance from one of their executives. We call it cross-pollination. Or that business is in another geography, so they're in another country, so your team still needs to step up to drive the business in the United Kingdom, that kind of thing. So these can work very harmoniously together, where you get the benefits of an MBO, but you get the financial resources of a buyer, giving the owner enough money that it's de-risked the transaction, and the support, the X factor leadership support that the management team needs to grow. These can definitely work together. Employee ownership trusts are a great vehicle tax-wise, because they're kind of like an MBO, only the proceeds all come out in a very tax-effective way for the owner. I would consult your tax advisor to get details on that, as we're not giving tax advice here, but that's one of the great benefits of them. And it also gives the people who are there the chance to step up. The only downside to them is the business is now being run by what is effectively a committee of people, including people from the outside, that get to call the shots on how the company evolves and that kind of thing. That can be okay for some types of companies. However, we're back to the X Factor leadership thing. When you've had an X Factor leader driving the company to changes and all that, to suddenly have a committee and have that X Factor leader gone. And I know in some EOTs, the X Factor leader stays on that board for a period of time. That can work. However, remember, people are selling a business generally because they want to leave, because it's time to go hit the beach, as we say, or go do travel with your spouse or something like that. And if they have to, and a lot of retirement is in the head. And if they have the burden of still being on a board and still worrying about their money coming out and all that, they really don't retire, even though they're sitting on the beach halfway around the world. And so it just depends. It's very individual, but these things have their different places, and every situation is different, and the people in them are different, but these are some of the options. As we always say, if you have a good merger and acquisitions advisor who does this for a living on a daily basis and has seen many of these scenarios roll out, they can help you. And again, always focus on cultural fit. Most transactions never make it to the end of a closing cycle, because the cultural fit is not good. And if we always think about the people and making sure the people are right, the people are taken care of, and those are the deals that close, those are the deals that deliver value after the fact. And again, a good advisor that does this on a regular basis, like anything, has seen enough that they can help you with this. So hopefully this has been helpful. Again, we created this series to help people that are new to selling businesses to understand some basic principles. We did write a book called Selling Your Business, which has 18 chapters that focus on topics like this. There is a free flipbook version in the description field below. Please feel free to access that. We'd be happy to send you a paper copy as well. Good luck on your business sale journey.